Today we're working on Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. You're gonna need a blanket or two, a strap, and a little bit of wall space. Good. So start by coming to a seat on your blanket, your first blanket. We're gonna fold it to give ourselves just a little bit of lift. Good. Then, bottoms of the feet come together. And this is Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So, right off the bat, you might notice a few things. Depending on the openness of your hips today. Might look kind of like this, might look a little bit more like this, but first and foremost, like any pose in Hatha Yoga, we're concerned with our spine. So if your knees are way up here and you're kind of hunching forward like this to stay seated up, you're gonna take more lift underneath your hips. Stack a second blanket underneath, or a bolster, or as much length as you need to so that you can be doing this while keeping the shoulders back away from the ears and finding a nice tall but relaxed spine. If you feel like you need extra support underneath your knees, here are some options. You can take blocks, bolsters, blankets, slide them underneath the knees. Or if you have a second blanket, you can unfold it to that point and then make a nice tight roll. Bring the roll on top of your feet and under your shins. Ta-da! Supported variation, Baddha Konasana. Good. Now, once you've found your variation with your supports that you're comfortable with, we're going to pull. You can take the thumbs to the mounds of the feet, and from there gently pull into the feet to roll shoulders back, straighten the spine. If you're feeling a ton of sensation in the hips, you're gonna stay there. Otherwise, keep straightening the spine as you hinge at the hips. Walk the fingertips forward and fold, tucking the chin to lengthen the back of the neck. We're gonna be here a minute. So I'm gonna say come to about 75–80% of your edge or so. Good. Take a few more breaths here. Think about spine lengthening forward. Then hinge at the hips. Let's walk ourselves back up. So, if you got this roll, let's move it off to the side just for a moment. Exploring this posture a little bit differently. So, quick trick on Baddha Konasana. Your heels have a lot to do with how intensely you're going to feel this posture. If your heels are up all the way in toward the groin, quite a bit deeper stretch through the inner hips, right? If you move your heels a bit further away from you, kind of more of a diamond shape, takes a little bit of pressure off the knees and a little bit of the stretch out of the hips. So again, you know, everybody's different, and even the same person is different from day to day. So some days we might be just open book, hips just fall open. Other days might be a little tighter, a little more crunch. So we're gonna find the variation with the heels that makes sense for us, right? Then we're gonna take our strap. Bring the strap around behind you, sort of to the lower back. And then we're gonna take the sides of the strap here to the tops of the hip crease. And we're gonna bring the strap, I guess it's the tops of the feet, technically, underneath the feet, around the tops of the feet. And then you're going to make the loop with your strap by sliding underneath both buckles, and then you go over and under the top buckles. Good. So you can shift your belt as you need to so the buckle is easily accessible. Top of the strap is supporting near the sacrum, near the tops of the hip crease. Then we're going to tighten the strap. Bring your feet in to the appropriate level for you, and then tighten the strap for some added support. Good. Now again, roll the shoulders back, straighten the spine. If you're feeling a lot of sensation where you are, stay put. Otherwise, lift up and forward with the sternum. You might need to tighten your strap a little as you go. And fold again to your 75, 80%. Tuck the chin to lengthen the back of the neck. Good. If you're folding, we're going to walk back up. We're going to reach for the buckle. Loosen your strap. Release your strap off to the sides. Use your hands as support for your knees as you bring your knees up and extend your legs forward. Good. Hands down for support. As you kick out the backs of the knees, stretch the backs of the legs. Good. Good. Then we're going to come to one more variation, Baddha Konasana. This is sort of a combination Baddha Konasana and Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. So to do so, you can bring your mat, turn it against the wall if you'd like. We're going to take one of our blankets, fold it in half, slide it up against the wall. Good. Now the tricky part is getting your legs up the wall to begin with, but you get used to it after a while. So we're going to come down onto our side. And we want it so when we roll onto our back, our hips are up on this blanket. If the blanket's not enough lift, you can also use a bolster, of course. So we're going to roll onto our back, extend our legs up. Good. Trick here, the closer your hips are to the wall, the deeper the stretch you're going to immediately feel through the backs of the legs. So if it feels like it's too much, slide away from the wall. If it doesn't feel like it's quite enough, slide all the way to the wall. Good. Now we're going to start to bend our knees. Drop our knees open to the sides as you let the heels slide in toward the groin. Good. And find your reclined version. Nice thing about the reclined version, you can use your hands to gently encourage, it's this inner to outer rotation of the thighs. So think about the underside of your thigh, trying to rotate almost toward your face, right? And through that external rotation of the thighs, the knees work toward the wall a little bit more. The hips open up a little bit more. Once you've found your variation, you can let your arms rest up overhead or bring them out to a T. Gaze softens or eyes close all the way down. Take some deep breaths. Now I'm going to leave you here for as long as you'd like. I'd recommend at least 2 or 3 minutes, but if you got the time, take longer. If you're feeling relaxed but you want to give the hips a break, you can always straighten the legs back up. But for all intents and purposes, let's call this your Shavasana, your resting pose for the day. Stay as long as you'd like, and we'll see you tomorrow.